Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 21st of December 2023 and guys, the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is definitely heading towards the moon. And guys, the answer is pretty simple. All news surrounding Bitcoin spot ETF is definitely gaining a lot of momentum. Now towards the end of the episode guys, I'm definitely going to discuss another meeting that actually took place by the US Security and Exchange Commission along with BlackRock's head of digital assets and also some members of Nasdaq. But before that guys, what I'm going to be discussing today is one of the protocol that is connected to Bitcoin blockchain, and they have definitely pumped up since the last 24 hours. As a matter of fact guys, they've been up by well over 27%, and look at this project or protocol is called as STX or STX. Now in the past guys, I've definitely covered what STX is, but in today's episode, when I usually go and explore one of the projects or protocol, what I decided to do is I'll definitely go and explore what STX is so you listeners can get a much better understanding of what the project is. But guys listen, the reason why STX or STX is up is because one of the OGs of Bitcoin, that is Tim Draper, he did have an interview with Coin Bureau, and because of that, or rather only because of that, the token pumped up by well over 27%, so we'll definitely go and explore that. And guys listen, since the last few months, Bitcoin's dominance is definitely on an upward trend, and as I mentioned earlier guys, it is only because of news surrounding Bitcoin spot ETF, isn't it? Now in today's episode, what I'll do is, I'll go ahead and give out some bits and pieces of information that are connected to Bitcoin blockchain, and that discusses the size of the blockchain and quite a lot of other definitely critical information. Now look guys, since the last week or so, altcoins have been pumping up quite a lot, and one of the altcoins or shitcoins which are connected to meme coins, that is SHIB, they are in mainstream news as well. But this time guys, the news is connected more to do with domain names. So essentially the news is that the Shiba Inu team are working on creating domains for websites and email. So most likely guys, we might have .shib. Now really I'm not sure if that is a positive news, but definitely some news so far Shiba Inu is concerned. And guys listen, regarding China, they are actively aggressively working towards Web3 information. And few weeks ago guys, I did talk about China's plan so far as Web3 is concerned. Now we have some update, and looks like China is aggressively moving towards its Web3 strategy. Now look guys, this news might be a bit surprising because when you talk about central bank digital currency, China is definitely leading the way so far central bank digital currency is concerned. And when you talk about central bank digital currency and Web3, they are kind of like opposites, isn't it? But nonetheless guys, China is definitely making move so far as Web3 is concerned. So I'll definitely go ahead and share my thoughts and opinions on it. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys was actually published in Abu Dhabi Global Market website, and that is to do with Changer.le. And guys, the news is that Changer.le Limited has launched the crypto custodian services in UAE. So definitely positive news. And guys, the second news is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And guys listen, in 2023, pretty much every day in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm finding some news regarding Saudi Arabia, be it metaverse, be it blockchain technology or artificial intelligence. But when you talk about artificial intelligence, Saudi Arabia is definitely making quite a lot of news and headways in the field. And this news guys has to do with Yasmina. And essentially the news is that beta testing is taking place. And Yasmina guys is a human-like AI assistant, and looks like the testing has kicked off. So in today's episode, I'll definitely go and explore what that news is all about. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode, so let's get started with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us. From the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies, we'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet, and this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now since the last 24 hours guys, the global cryptocurrency market has marginally pumped up by 2%, and as of now it is at $1.64 trillion. And to be honest guys, the reason why it is marginally pumped up is because another meeting actually took place by the US Security and Exchange Commission with BlackRock and Nasdaq. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and explain that towards the end of the episode, because to be honest guys, it is not a massive news, just a teeny tiny update. But because of this tiny update, looks like the global cryptocurrency market and the price of Bitcoin is pumped up as well. Now whether you like it or not guys, but that is unfortunately the power of BlackRock, isn't it? Now so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, it is at $70.83 billion. And since the last 24 hours guys, it is up by 20.88%. And guys, if you look at these numbers in detail, most of the volume has been driven by decentralized exchange. And guys, if you look at the volume of decentralized exchanges, they have definitely picked up pace. And to be honest guys, it is no surprise that these numbers are definitely picking up pace towards the center of the week and heading towards the end of this week. Now before we look into that guys, let me just quickly run through the volume of DeFi, because the volume of DeFi is at $7.71 billion. And DeFi guys is accounting for 10.88% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now look guys, only in December, the volume in DeFi has been about the $5 billion mark. For the first 11 months of this year, I can recount only 2 or 3 days where the volume of DeFi was well over $5 billion. So it looks like a lot of activity is actually taking place so far as DeFi is concerned. But if you look at the numbers guys, it is mostly to do with decentralized exchanges as opposed to DeFi protocols. And guys, if you look at the total value locked as well, it is consistently crossing the $50 billion mark only in the month of December. Earlier in this year guys, I'm pretty much sure the total value lock crossed the $50 billion mark, maybe just on 1 or 2 occasions, that's about all. And Lido guys is definitely leading the pack so far as total value locked is concerned at $20.40 billion. And guys, the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance is at 20.88%. Now look guys, I've said this thing several times in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. Ideally, I'm looking at the number of 40% or even higher, and only then we can confidently state that people are using decentralized exchanges as opposed to centralized exchange. Now guys, let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, because to be honest guys, this time the numbers 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th have definitely picked up quite a lot of pace. What used to happen earlier this year, only Uniswap's volume used to pick up pace, and the remaining 4 guys, the volume used to pick up pace, but not as much as this particular week. Now the number 1 is no surprise is Uniswap, and its volume is $1.60 billion. The number 2nd guys is Zorka, and its volume is $468.3 million. Radium guys is at number 3rd at $381.37 million. PancakeSwap guys is at number 4th at $381.31 million, and Core Finance guys at $314.68 million. If you look guys, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th decentralized exchange, the volume is well over $300 and $400 million. In the past, only the 2nd one used to be let's say over $300 million. The 3rd, 4th and 5th decentralized exchange, the volume used to be well below the $300 million mark, on certain cases even below the $200 million mark. This, to be honest, for the very first time, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th decentralized exchange, the volume is well over $300 million mark. As a matter of fact guys, most of them are well over $350 million as well. So it looks like since the last 24 hours, a lot of trading activity is taking place in decentralized exchanges, isn't it? Now guys, let's quickly run through the volume of stable coins. It is at $62.58 billion, and stable coins guys is accounting for 88.24% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now look guys, for the very first time in the history of Crypto and Coffee 88 blockchain, what I'm noticing is the volume of stable coins is accounting for a lesser percentage of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Ideally, guys, the volume of stable coins used to account for 90%, but I can only think of one explanation, and that is because of the demise of Binance BUSD. Because since December, guys, Binance BUSD's volume has gone absolutely miserably down, and only because of that, the volume of stablecoins is accounting for a lesser percentage of the total cryptocurrency market volume. And I'm talking about since the past 3 to 4 years, the volume of stablecoins used to account for well over 90%, certain cases even 98% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. So there is a really strong connection between Binance BUSD and the volume of stablecoins accounting for a lesser percentage of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now, out of the $62.58 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for $51.89 billion, Circle USDC, guys, is at $6.05 billion, and the number third, guys, is Tron USD, and I'm pretty much sure that will be the trend for the next coming years. It is at $578 million. Now, guys, let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin's dominance is definitely picking up pace. Today it is at 52.30%. Unfortunately, guys, Ethereum's dominance has been on a downturn, and it is at 16.20%. Earlier this year, guys, Ethereum's dominance used to be 17%, and on few occasions even 18%. But since this week, guys, a lot of attention, a lot of buying is actually going towards altcoin, isn't it? And because of that, the dominance of Ethereum is slightly shrinking down. Now, guys, if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, it is at $859 billion, and Ethereum is at $266 billion. The 24-hour trading volume, guys, of Ethereum is $13.07 billion, whereas Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is little over the 50% mark at $28.9 billion. Now, guys, let me quickly run through the market cap of smart contracting platform, and it's no surprise as Ethereum is leading the pack with $266 billion. The second one, guys, is Binance BNB Chain at $39.93 billion. The third one, guys, is Solana at $37.02 billion. Now look, guys, Solana has aggressively been making quite a lot of partnership, and I wouldn't be surprised in, let's say, in the next coming weeks or months, Solana does actually overtake Binance BNB Chain, because they have definitely overtaken Cardano by an absolutely massive margin, and Cardano right now is at number 4th at $21.37 billion, and Avalanche, guys, is at number 5th at $16.93 billion. Earlier this year, guys, and I'm pretty much sure in the first half of this year, Cardano was at number 2nd, but Solana has aggressively been making partnership, and because of that, its marketing platform is number 3rd across all smart contracting platform. So it's going to be really interesting to see any developments, particularly in the next coming weeks, and I wouldn't be surprised if Solana overtakes Binance BNB Chain as well. Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, let me run through Stacks protocol, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, I've definitely covered them in the past, and later on, guys, when we talk about crypto and coffee at 8, we'll definitely go ahead and discuss why the price has gone up by well over 27%. So let me go ahead and briefly explain what Stacks or STX is, because Stacks, guys, acts as a layer on top of Bitcoin blockchain, and it allows smart contracts and decentralized apps, also called as dApps, to be built on the robust foundation of Bitcoin. Now, smart contracts, guys, as we know, enable programmable and self-executing agreements, while Bitcoin provides the underlying security and decentralization for Bitcoin blockchain, isn't it? But the interesting thing is, guys, with Stacks or STX, the smart contract can actually work on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, guys, as we know, provides the most secureable platform, and some would even argue the most decentralized or distributed in nature as well. Now, so far as the consensus mechanism is concerned, guys, Stacks uses consensus mechanism called as proof of transfer. So in simple terms, guys, users transfer Bitcoin to mine new Stacks tokens or STX, and this linking of Bitcoin with XTX helps secure the Stacks blockchain, and this process is called as burning Bitcoin, meaning, guys, it is temporarily moved out of circulation, demonstrating commitment in adding to security of the Stacks network. And guys, Stacks also introduced a novel asset called as SBTC, which is backed one-on-one with regular Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, and the SBTC can move seamlessly between Stacks layer and the Bitcoin blockchain in a completely decentralized manner. And guys, smart contracts on Stacks can interact with the backend Bitcoin, enabling unique functionalities. Now, so far as the programming language is concerned, Stacks uses Clarity programming language for writing smart contracts, and Clarity, guys, is designed to be safe, easily understandable, and enable precise execution of smart contracts. And guys, the language ensures that smart contracts are transparent, making it extremely easier to verify the behavior and avoid potential vulnerabilities. And guys, listen, Stacks also tackles scalability and fast transactions, and Stacks is designed to be a scalable layer, allowing for fast transactions, and the scalability is achieved without compromising security, and all transactions are ultimately settled on Bitcoin blockchain, benefiting from its finality. And guys, so far as the security of Bitcoin is concerned, because Stacks is anchoring itself to Bitcoin blockchain, Stacks leverages the robust security provided by Bitcoin's proof of work consensus and mechanism as well. So an attack on Stacks network would require an attacker to compromise the Bitcoin blockchain, making it economically and computationally infeasible. Now let me very briefly run through the tokenomics of Stacks or STX, because the total number of Stacks or STX is capped at around 1,818 million by the year end 2050, and so far as the distribution of Stacks is concerned, it is completely diverse, with no single entity holding more than 10% of the circulating supply, and each investor or entity generally holds less than 5%. So essentially guys, in summary, Stacks is a unique project that combines the security and stability of Bitcoin with the flexibility of a smart contract, and through its innovation like proof of transfer, which is one-on-one backed by Bitcoin asset, and the programming language that is Clarity, Stacks aims to provide a secure, scalable, and interoperable environment for decentralized applications, while at the same time maintaining a closer connection with Bitcoin blockchain. And look guys, since the last 24 hours, it is definitely pumped up in price by well over 27%. Now before I get into that, let me just quickly run through the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance BNB coin, because Bitcoin, guys, which is the king of all kings, is currently at $43,903, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.50%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.21%. Ethereum, guys, is at $2,216. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 0.41%, but since the last 7 days, it is marginally down by 2.81%. Binance BNB coin, guys, is at $263. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 2.49%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 4.66%. Now look guys, I wouldn't be surprised in the next coming weeks if Binance BNB chain is actually replaced by Solana or Sol. So keep a track on the developments that are actually taking place in Solana, and the developments mostly will not necessarily have to do with Solana blockchain, but developments in terms of partnership and user adoption. Now guys, listen, since the last 24 hours, STX or Stacks has definitely been pumping up, and the answer is pretty simple. Tim Draper is one of the OGs of Bitcoin. In an interview with Coin Bureau, did actually say some positive things about Stacks STX. So what I'd really recommend you to do is in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and published the entire interview with Coin Bureau, and because of that guys, as a matter of fact, only because of that, the native token of Stacks network did actually pump up by well over 27%, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next coming days if it does actually marginally go down. Now the reason why Tim Draper's interview is so impactful is because back in 2014, Tim Draper did actually buy 30,000 Bitcoins for roughly around $19 million, and that was after the US Marshals took down the Silk Road. Now, he's definitely made an absolute fortune off it. Imagine having 30,000 Bitcoins multiplied by the price of Bitcoin right now, that is $43,000. He's definitely a multi-billionaire, and I'm pretty much sure he's got quite a lot of other shitcoins as well. Now that thing being said guys, it's really important to note that Tim Draper is a massive advocate of Bitcoin, but in the past, he has made some really crazy and wild prediction. In 2018 guys, he did actually predict the price of Bitcoin to be $250,000. Unfortunately, that thing did not happen. Now in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and mentioned this particular tweet where he very precisely predicted the price of Bitcoin to reach $250,000 by year in 2022. Now what is a bit crazy guys is that he still expects the price to reach $250,000, but this time it'll be by 2025. Now look guys, as much as I dislike saying it, unfortunately when you talk about Bitcoin, the rich have gotten richer, millionaires have turned out to be multimillionaires, and billionaires have turned out to be multi-billionaires. They have accumulated quite a lot of Bitcoin, and they go ahead and make these price predictions so that the followers will go ahead and buy a couple of these Bitcoins. And listen guys, by doing that, only Tim Draper's net worth would actually increase, so you definitely need to bear that thing in mind. And because guys, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, there is no central entity involved. A lot of celebrities, influencers, early adopters who already have quite a lot of Bitcoin. They want to go ahead and increase the demand for it, isn't it? And as you know, guys, the supply of Bitcoin is limited and there is halving kicking up as well. So as long as you're aware of why they are saying these things, then you can go ahead and make your own decision. Now, guys, let me very briefly run through some really important metrics regarding Bitcoin blockchain, because, guys, the Bitcoin blockchain has exceeded half a terabyte in size due to a surge in transactions and expanded block capacity. And Bitcoin blockchain node operators, guys, now need in excess of 500 gigabytes of available storage. So let's say if you have a laptop, you need at least 500 gigabyte only to go ahead and download the Bitcoin blockchain. And guys, downloading the full blockchain would take about 47 hours and 44 minutes using a standard 24 megabytes ADSL connection. Now listen, guys, I very specifically remember in 2016 I had downloaded the entire Bitcoin blockchain, and I'd also downloaded the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain got downloaded, I believe, in less than 2 hours, but few years later I tried to download the Ethereum blockchain. It took hours and hours, and that time the Bitcoin blockchain did take me roughly around 4 hours. But now imagine you'll have to wait for 47 hours. Now there are several reasons, guys, as to why the size is increased, and ordinal inscription is one of them. And Bitcoin.com, guys, has a great article explaining why ordinal inscriptions is one of the reasons why the block size is so high. And what the article actually states is that the significant increase in average block size is primarily driven by ordinal inscriptions. And because of ordinal inscription, guys, there's so much of demand for doing things on Bitcoin blockchain, isn't it? So I thought I'll go ahead and share that piece of information. Now, guys, let's discuss some interesting news from meme coin and altcoins, and that is to do with .SHIB or .SHIB. And the Shiba Inu team, guys, is collaborating with domain company D3 to pursue the launch of SHIB domains for websites and email. And together, guys, they are advocating for approval to establish the first ever crypto level domain. So imagine, guys, rather than blockchaindxb.com, it'll be blockchaindxb.shib or .SHIB. That is what the whole idea is. So this announcement was just made few hours ago, but unfortunately there's not been much movement so far as the price of Shiba Inu is concerned. And guys, the team has partnered with D3 Global, which is a digital infrastructure provider, to help make Shiba Inu's application for a TLD as compelling as possible. And guys, listen, if you've worked with website, there is something called as ICANN, and they are the ones, I believe, who manage the domain. And the last time ICANN opened applications for new top level domains was going back to 2012. So this news might sound interesting, but I really am not sure what the use case of that will be. Making a .SHIB domain sounds interesting, but I really am not sure if it does create quite a lot of buzz in the crypto community. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding China. Now, guys, whether we like it or not, China is definitely making quite a lot of news in the CBDC world as well as in Web3 world. And there is some update, and the update is that China's Ministry of Science and Technology announced on Tuesday its intention to unveil a Web3 strategy document. And guys, the document aims to provide clarity on the country's direction for industry, offering insights into the planned path forward. Now, in the show notes below, I've gone ahead and published the official article, but it is written in the native language. But what the document states is that the collaborative strategy document from China's Ministry of Science and Technology, the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and the China Association for Science and Technology will address Web3 issues like inheritance, innovation, security, and government obligation. And the ministry aims to bolster interdepartmental collaboration, drive Web3 innovation, conduct research, and develop industry talent. And look, guys, this strategy might take at least 2 to 3 years to go ahead and gain momentum. And what is going to be really interesting to see, by that time there might be some developments so far central bank digital currency is concerned as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how CBDCs actually merge with Web 3.0. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF. And what happened, guys, is that the US Security and Exchange Commission did have a meeting with BlackRock's head of digital assets and NASDAQ as well. And there is a memo which is released by US Security and Exchange Commission that actually states that the meeting included BlackRock's head of digital assets, that is Robert Mitnick, along with personnel from Asset Managers ETF team, along with participants from NASDAQ's VP and Chief Regulatory Officer Joseph Cusick, and the head of US Equity and Exchange Traded Product, Jiang Guo, and head of ETB listing, Alison Doyle. And guys, heading up the SSH team were David Shillman and Eric Eunice, and associate directors in Regulators Division of Trading and Markets. And listen, guys, based on the memo, looks like the decision was related to NASDAQ's proposed rule change to list and trade shares of iShares Bitcoin under Nasdaq Rule 5711D. Now, so far as the rule regarding 5711D is concerned, it provides guidelines for the listing of commodity-based trust shares and the criteria for initial and continued listing, including companies' requirements. And guys, listen, the meeting comes on the heels of BlackRock's meeting that happened a few days ago regarding the S1 application, isn't it? And the S1 application, guys, does actually propose iShares Bitcoin Trust gained a new ticker, that is IBIT, and switch to cash-only ETF. And that is something which I covered in my episode on the 19th of December. So what I'd really recommend you to do is listen to the episode that was released on the 19th of December, because what that actually means is that the new shares of the funds can only be created with cash and not Bitcoin. And guys, this meeting that they had definitely seems to be promising, and I wouldn't be surprised, guys, that a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved by January. But the cryptocurrency world is absolutely crazy and wild, isn't it? So we'll definitely have to wait and see. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, is a massive one. And this news is actually published by Abu Dhabi Global Markets website, that is adgm.com. And the news is that Changer.ae Limited is launching crypto custodian services in the UAE. And Changer.ae, guys, is a premier independent crypto custodian service, and the platform is dedicated to securing user virtual assets. And Changer.ae is officially launched, providing a reliable and accessible wallet, and they are regulated by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, that is FSRA, of Abu Dhabi Global Market, and complies with rules and regulations, including safe custodian provisions and technology governance. And guys, UAE is definitely leading in the cryptocurrency adoption race, isn't it? And creating a robust and progressive regulatory environment is definitely being displayed, and more importantly, actions are being taken as well. And guys, Changer's custodial services cater to the rising demand for independent custody and fund administration, and Changer, guys, is the only regionally built independent custody provider in the UAE, and Premium Wallet offers a transparent, subscription-style monthly service based on asset held. And guys, what they're doing is they're also going to be waiving the custody fees for early adopters in Q1 of 2024, and Changer's platform ensures safe storage with advanced inscription and multi-signature authorization, and cryptocurrency investors worldwide can open an account via the user-friendly mobile application. And verification process, guys, allows users to store and manage their digital assets securely. And guys, Changer plans to introduce additional services in early quarter of 2024, and future services include converting virtual assets into fiat currencies and holding them in escrow accounts as well. And Changer, as of now, is the only regionally built independent custody provider in the UAE. And guys, listen, Premium Wallet offers a transparent, subscription-style monthly services based on assets held. And guys, remember, Changer.ae is waiving the custody fees for early adopters in Q1 of 2024. And guys, as I mentioned earlier, cryptocurrency investors worldwide can open an account via the user-friendly mobile application. Now, so far as the escrow account is concerned, a strategic bank partner for escrow arrangements is being made, and the details of the bank is not known yet. And Nadeem Ladvi, the senior executive officer for Changer, emphasized the commitment to safety and regulations in digital asset adoption. So definitely positive news. Now look, guys, since the last quarter, I'm noticing quite a lot of news coming out from Abu Dhabi, and not necessarily news from Dubai. This is just one trend which I've observed, particularly in the last quarter. Could it be possible that Abu Dhabi, the Emirate, and the capital of UAE is definitely overtaking Dubai? Most likely, yes, so it's going to be really interesting to see what news we get regarding WARA, that is Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. Now guys, let's discuss second news. That is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the news is that beta testing of Yasmina, which is a human-like AI assistant, is definitely kicking off. So let me go ahead and share what that news is all about. Because Yango, guys, launches Yasmina, which is a human-like AI assistant in Saudi Arabia, and public testing is available for Saudi residents to sign up and interact with Yasmina. Yasmina, guys, is designed to understand various Arabic dialects and respond in Khaliji and English as well. And Yango, the company behind Yasmina, transforms global technologies into everyday services for local enrichment. And Yasmina, guys, engages in authentic, consistent and enjoyable conversation with a focus on natural interactions, and the AI assistant has a unique ability to understand local jokes and adapt content based on user demographics. And Yasmina's language model is fine-tuned by dozens of copywriters and hundreds of content contributors, and the model allows Yasmina to have a unique Khaliji personality, and continuously learn and grow, and hundreds of local residents participated in training Yasmina's speech recognition across different regions in Saudi Arabia. And Yasmina Gas functions as a smart home center, enabling users to control home devices and personal tasks as well. And you can even ask Yasmina to adjust room temperature, turn on the vacuum, or find your recipe. And Yasmina is not limited to standalone app, but can be integrated into other apps and smart home devices as well. And guys, the AI assistant enhances user experience by making technology friendlier and more accessible. And Yasmina Gas is part of Yongo's mission to transform global technologies into everyday services for communities. And Yongo's commitment to innovation is reflected in its diverse services, including ride-hailing, maps, delivery, and tech solutions as well. And Samir Mohammed, Yasmina's regional director for Manga at Yongo, emphasizes the goal of making Yasmina more fluent, creative, and emotionally intelligent. And Yasmina is designed to fit seamlessly into GCC homes and offer features like informing users of prayer times as well. And Yango Gas is a tech company aiming to reshape and enhance cutting-edge technologies into integrated daily services for diverse regions. So definitely positive news in the world of artificial intelligence. And look guys, I've said this thing so many times. I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia turns out to be the leader, not just in the Middle East, probably in the entire world so far as artificial intelligence is concerned. So those were the news guys from Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Rahul who asks, do you think China will be the leader in the next coming years so far as Web3 is concerned? Now, based on the news, Rahul, looks like China most likely could be one of the leaders. I really am not sure it will be the leader so far as Web3 adoption is concerned, because look, they're aggressively going for central bank digital currency, and once you truly understand what central bank digital currency are, if you were to compare it, let's say, with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, CBDCs are technically exactly the opposite of open blockchain and Bitcoin, and Web3 actually focuses on open blockchain and Bitcoin. So the answer is a mixture of both, because on one hand, China is focusing on CBDCs, which gives the state or the government more control over your spending. They could switch off your account at will, but at the same time, what they want to do is they want to focus on Web3, where users get full control over their spending, get full control over the data and information. But listen, Rahul, so far CBDC is concerned, China is definitely leaps and bounds ahead than any other country. And unfortunately, I hate saying this, but when we talk about the adoption of not only CBDCs, but even Bitcoin or Web3, a communist style of government or an authoritarian style of government can actually force the citizens to go out and start using it as well, isn't it? Now, as much as I hate saying this, even let's say if you talk about Bitcoin, it becomes much more easier for an authoritarian style of government or a dictator form of government to go out and implement Bitcoin into their own region and country. Now, what is a bit crazy is that is precisely what Bitcoin was created, isn't it? So that no authoritarian style or government or central entity can control over the spending. But I'm talking about the adoption. And when you ask a question about if China could be a leader, I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, a decade from now, China does turn out to be the leader. But let's say in the next coming years, I wouldn't be surprised, let's say, if Singapore or UAE turns out to be the leader so far as Web3 is concerned. Now, so far as UAE is concerned, one of the visions of Sheikh Hamdan is for Dubai to be the number one city in the world so far as Web3 is concerned, and so far as Metaverse is concerned. The vision is for Dubai to be in the top 10 city, so it's going to be really interesting to see what the developments are actually taking place. Now look, Rahul, me personally, I absolutely do not like this terminology called Web 3.0, because as I mentioned earlier, there are very limited use cases of blockchain technology, and according to me, the whole terminology called Web 3.0 is just hype, where a lot of startups, CTOs and tech founders are just using that terminology to gain a lot of funding. There are very limited use cases of blockchain technology beyond making transactions peer-to-peer. I unfortunately don't see much use case of decentralized apps. And what you can do is, and what our listeners can also do is, go to dapradar.com and just look at the number of decentralized applications that are currently being utilized, and then compare it with the hype, then compare it with the investment. And to be honest, Raul, the numbers are extremely scary. But to answer your question, I don't necessarily think China will be the leader so far as Web3 is concerned in the next 3 to 5 years. But let's see, if you're talking about it in a longer horizon, I wouldn't be surprised if China does actually turn out to be the leader. But you also need to take into consideration the geopolitical chaos that the world is heading towards. And will the United States of government do something crazy? I wouldn't be surprised. So those are my honest thoughts about it. But definitely a brilliant and interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee date works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.